Hello, YouTube. I am starting 5 minutes early tonight because why not? Hello, YouTube. I am starting 5 minutes early Hello, YouTube. I am starting. Hey, we got an echo chamber going and it can be fun. Hey, we got an echo chamber and it can be fun. Hey, we got an echo chamber going and an echo chamber and it can be fun. Hey, got an echo Okay, so I had a little fun there. Sorry if I started without you, but I was getting antsy. I hope you guys could still hear me, and I didn't mute the whole live stream. So someone give me a little cue that they can still hear me. Woo, 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 woo. All right. So, all right. Okay. Hey, Hoffman's Little Homestead. Hey, Heidi. Hey, Ian. Dave and Sam and Amanda and whoever else has joined us. I am not drunk. I am not drunk. I am exhausted is what I am. I've had quite a day at work. Actually, quite a few days at work. One of my main techs is in Hawaii this week, and which is which has put us resource constrained, and you know we need to cover for that anyway. So I really don't have anything planned for tonight other than just to wing it. And some therapeutic, yes. Oh man, laughter is the only way I can make it through life. If I don't laugh, it's just really not worth it for me. What do I got going? Let me switch this over to here to do this. What is today's date? I am date challenged. I have been single for all too long, and I don't remember what a date is like. Oh, you mean you mean what day is it? No, it is not the 28th. I, in the chaos of my head, thought this was the last week of the month. And being the last week of the month, I kind of, not kind of, but the last week of the month is supposed to be a collaboration series to be released on the 28th of February. Well, in the chaos of my mind, I took today as being the 28th and released my video a full week early. So I took the link. I took the link off of the link for the end card out of the end of my video, and I'll put it back in next week. Hey, good evening, Cruiser Mac. Good evening, Mom. And good evening to anyone else who has come in since I started emptying my brain onto the keyboard and out to you guys. For those of you who missed the very beginning, apparently Sam is recommending that after this stream you guys go back and rewatch the first 60-90 seconds of this video. I kind of go crazy insane. So anyway, I released my video a full 7 days early. And then I asked my collaboration partners whether or not they were going to release their video too, and they responded, yes, we will, on the scheduled date. And I had a senior moment there. Oh, so is my volume too high right now? I think I still have it set. I might have it set awfully high because last week Dave up in Canada was having issues hearing, so I just dialed it back just a touch. I should still be on the 2G Wi-Fi, Sam. I don't think I have anything else. Oh, just when I was laughing, yeah. Oh, so I told a joke to one of my techs. Her name is Renee. I've known her for 14 plus years, and so she's well aware of my sense of humor. And I did not get a single laugh or giggle out of her. It was slightly disappointing. So here's the joke. What do you call a broken boomerang? A stick. How about this one? Why don't you see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're good at it. Oh, hey Kevin. Welcome to one of the wackiest, crazy. I'm getting a little sun. Were you getting a little washed out image there? The sun was coming in my shop. Let's see, does that work? Oh, how am I gonna do this? How about that? And then you can just barely. Can you just barely see me? Can you see me at all? Yeah, it looks like you can kind of see me. That works. That works good enough. Oh, soaking up the vitamin D. Yeah. You're not a comedian. No, Brandon, I am not a comedian, nor do I play one on TV. But I crack myself up all the time. So. Oh. Let's see, what are you guys saying there? Oh yeah, Brandon, you and Dave have the fishing as your main pastime in common. Dan Bertazation. Well, Dan, I'm sorry I don't know how to say your name, but welcome to the live stream. I am winging it tonight. So once I get done with my live stream here, I am grabbing my suitcase, my backpack, and driving to the airport. And heading out east. And heading east and south. East and south. Southeast. Going to Atlanta. I'm going to the Workbench Con. It's a YouTube conference for DIY shop type folks. So woodworkers, metalworkers. There might be some craft people there, but it's sponsored by Home Depot and Craig Tools, some other tool manufacturers. It should be a pretty interesting deal. I already have my itinerary planned out with what speakers I'm going to go see, and yeah, I'm going to watch some on creating community, and I'll get to the sad part here in a minute, and search terms, a whole bunch of stuff. So here's the sad part. Sam over at Green Acre Workshop was trying to work out a deal to attend as well. He only lives 4 hours away from Atlanta, and so it would be not a bad drive for him to come over. But his deal to go fell through. Is it your birthday, Sam? Should you... I told Sam I'd take him out to dinner if he drives down to Atlanta. So there's free food involved. That shouldn't be a problem. So I'm catching the red eye, flying overnight. I'll get there. I land at 6 a.m. I'll get in a taxi and just head straight to the conference, and then I'll go back to the motel that evening and check in and all that. So it should be a good time. And Amanda was asking, am I all packed? Yes, I am packed. I packed just before this live stream. So I did not set aside the time this week to pack in advance. How am I getting to the airport? I am driving and then parking in long-term parking. And that way when I come back on Sunday, I can just hop on the little shuttle, go to the long-term parking, and come home. Red eye is contagious. Pink eye is, I believe. I don't know what red eye is doing. What am I doing under the frame? I'll keep my hands where you can see them. I'm not doing anything under the frame. So Brandon, for all of you who don't know, lives about 15-20 minutes or so from me. And I suppose he could take me to the airport if yeah. I was singing a song, leaving in a jet plane. I don't know that song. I could try to sing it. Red Eye Gravy Train. Oh. So I was frantically looking for a small tripod I have like a tabletop tripod to bring with me so I could shoot some video with that. I'm also bringing my my, what do you call it? I can't think of the name. The stabilization gyroscope thingy that you know, so you can walk and it stabilizes the image for you as you walk. I can't think of what that's called. Help me out here, guys. I'm bringing that. Yes, I'm bringing a howitzer. You can't bring any firearms, but a howitzer is not a firearm. So they let you bring that. Yeah. So I went through every pocket of Steadicam. Yeah. I went through every pocket of my rolling suitcase and every pocket of my backpack, my little backpack, to make sure there were no multi-tools, no screwdrivers, no pocket knives, none of that, because I don't want to get hung up there. I'm debating on whether or not I should even bring a flashlight. I think I can. I think you can fly with a flashlight, so I'll probably take my flashlight. Yeah, I could bring my triangle. You know what? I have a smaller triangle, which is like a 6-inch triangle, which is probably easier to fly with. Oh no, Dave! Security found a knife. Yeah. Dave has a wallet that has a strap on it, and it goes over his shoulder. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just teasing you, Dave. I don't know what your wallet is like. In your wallet. Pre or post 9/11. So I have a funny story. Well, it's not funny. I have a story anyway. So pre 9/11, I was doing a business trick. I was doing a business trip from Portland to Chicago to Atlanta. Yeah, that's funny. I'm going back to Atlanta. Portland to Chicago to Atlanta, back to Chicago, back to Portland. But I was going to training. I was going to a class in Chicago and in Atlanta, and that's just the way my route was. And this is pre 9/11, so I had that. I showed it last week. That Benchmade pocket knife that had half the blade was serrated and half was a regular blade, but it was a 2 3/4 inches long blade, or whatever it was under the blade limit size. So pre 9/11, you could fly with a pocket knife, but the blade length had to be under a certain length, 3 inches or something, whatever it was. This knife met that rule. And so I was flying from Chicago to Atlanta because I had done my training there, and I went through the gate security, and the gentleman looked at my knife and measured it, and it came in under the length. But he said I couldn't take it on the plane because it had a serrated blade. And I said, no, that's not in the rules, because I looked it up previously because I flew a lot for work back then, and it said nothing about serrated blade or not. And besides, this was only a half serrated blade. And he said that no, I couldn't fly with it, and that he would have to confiscate it. And I was like, no, you're not taking my knife. And, oh, because it's Benchmade, and, you know, Benchmades are a couple $100. And so I started to kind of argue with him a little bit. And so he got on the radio and called for backup. And a few other security guards came, just airport security, not law enforcement, but, you know, rent-a-cops. And they kind of semicircle surrounded me, and I was getting real heated with this guy. So I grabbed the knife from his hand, and I walked back through the metal detector the wrong way, and I set it off and realized I left my laptop on the other side. So I stormed past the passenger through the metal detector, set it off again, grabbed my laptop, went back through the metal detector the wrong way, and these guys were just going insane that I was doing this, which is understandable. I mean, you got this 6'5" person who's large, who's upset, and who's just going back and forth through the metal detector, setting it off, and they're not they don't know what to do with me. So I go back out to the concourse, and remember, this is pre 9/11. This is before 9/11. So things were a lot different back then. So I went back out to the concourse, and I went up to the gate, not the gate, but the check-in counter, and they gave me a little box, and I had to check my knife in a little box and put it through, and to pick it up when I got to Atlanta. And, you know, so I went back and went through security, and I got on the plane. So I'm down in Atlanta. I'm going through the class down there, the training down there. And when I fly back through Chicago, I have a layover, and I'm walking around the concourse, and I see a Chicago police officer, and I walk up to him, and I, you know, like, excuse me, sir. What's the rules about flying with pocket knives? And he said something along the lines of, we don't really get involved with that. That's more airport security. We're just here as, you know, as law enforcement. So he was just trying to kind of just like pass the buck that he doesn't get involved with that. But then he goes, but last week there was this guy. He started to tell me the story about me causing trouble at the metal detector. And I was just like, yeah, no, you couldn't get away with that now. Now they take you back in a little room and kind of just lock you up for a while. Or get you put on a list. Oh boy, yeah. And that post 9/11. So I was living in Norway when 9/11 occurred, and of course all flights were canceled for a period of time. I don't remember if it was a couple of weeks or a month or whatever. But, you know, they were very strict about what you can and can't bring on a plane, you know, much like now. But back then, I mean, they had military reserves there with their rifles and fatigues. And this is, I don't know if the TSA was formed yet or not, but they were pretty, you know, pretty serious, which is very understandable. But I always thought it was funny because my wife at the time, she was a knitter. Well, I imagine she still is a knitter. But she would fly with 18-inch, or maybe not 18-inch, maybe 14-inch long aluminum knitting needles. And that was not on the contraband items. So she would bring these long, pokey uh, knitting needles, and you can't bring nail clippers, but she could bring these 14-inch long aluminum knitting needles. Anyway, hello Virginia, welcome aboard. Oh, my story to New Mexico. Yeah. All right, so this is all in light because I'm flying tonight. I went down to New Mexico last year in 2018 for work because Intel has a factory down there, and I don't remember what airline I flew, but it was the airline where they group passengers into like 3 groups, and group 1 can board and pick any seats they want, and then group 2, and then group 3 can board, blah blah blah. And I was in group 3, so I was pretty much all the way back towards the back of the plane, and in coach, in the cattle car area. And when I fly in coach, I cannot use the tray table in front of me. It will not fold down. So if they serve a meal or a drink, I use my neighbor's tray table with them, because mine just won't go down because I consume the full space, and the person who sits in front of me is unable to recline their seat because my knees are firmly in the back of their seat. So, man, I don't remember exactly what I said. But anyway, this guy who was sitting in front of me would try to lean his seat back, and it wouldn't go. So he would like really kind of lean into it to try to get his seat to go back, but it wouldn't go back because it freaking against my knees, and it's just, I'm holding his seat forward and he's trying to push back. And so I say something to him, and then he stops, and a little bit later he tries to put his seat back, and it's not, he's crushing my legs, and I think he did it 3 times. And so I was really frustrated at this guy, and I reached over the seat and grabbed him by the shoulder and squeezed very hard, very, very hard, and was, very adamant that he cannot put his seat back. And he didn't try after that. And then when we got up to leave, he kind of looked at me and realized how large I was, and I was ducking because the ceiling was hitting my head. Yeah, I did a little video on that last year. The story will be fresher if you guys want to go back and find that. So I was just paraphrasing. Yeah, flying is not a pleasant experience for me. I have to ask for the those seatbelt extenders because the seatbelt won't reach around. So my mom is saying that this is the first time she's heard that story, and she needs to know these things ahead of time, even though it's many years late. Oh, Mom. Yeah, there's probably a handful of stories you don't know about, and maybe they'll come to light. But then again, maybe not knowing is maybe not knowing brings you relief, Mom. Oh, yeah. Oh, Corey's on. Hey, Fix It with Biscuit is the gentleman that invited Gary and I down to forge those knives. And Gary posted his video. I have not I have not edited my video yet. I still have to go through all that footage. Maybe I'll do it. But thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Hey, Bob. There's a story about me falling out of an airplane. Oh, I guess tonight's the night of airplane stories. So, I don't know if I've told you guys this one. So, back in the 90s, might have been 97, 98 or something. A person of size. Do you think they'd believe me if I said I was a person of size? So back in the 90s, anyway, back in the 90s, the company I was working for, some of the guys wanted to go skydiving as just a fun thing to do. And so they invited me along to go along with them, and it was the tandem. It was the tandem skydiving where you get buckled in to a jump master, and they operate the parachute for you, and you just hang on like a little baby in a baby Bjorn as you fall out through the sky. So we all show up at this airfield, and we're walking up towards the hangar where this parachuting company is, and the guy comes out to greet us, and like one of the first things he does is walk right to me and asks, how much do you weigh? I tell him, and I was lighter back then. I tell him how much I weigh, and he's like, we can't let you jump tandem because they have a 500-pound weight limit between the jump master and the customer. So, hey, that's my size. I'm 6'5", 385. So we're twinsies, Dan. So that would mean I need like 115-pound jump master, which means they would be in a little knapsack on my back. So the guy said, "It's okay. We'll put you through the class and let you jump solo, and we won't charge you the cost for that. We'll just charge you what it costs for a tandem jump." So he was, because to take the class and jump solo costs quite a bit more than to go tandem, because basically tandem, they just give you a little talk, and you get in a plane, they buckle you up, and they jump out with you, and yeah, it's all fun. But to jump solo, you have to take an all-day class to learn how to deal with what happens if your chute doesn't open up. What happens if one of the lines is wrapped over the top of the chute and it's only partially enveloped, or what if it's just a big ball of mass floating above you as you're falling towards the earth? You know, what you do and how you hey, Dan, have we really met? Have we met before, Dan? Tell me in what capacity we've met. Are you an Oregonian too, or a Pacific Northwest? So I'm in this class, And then they take me out to one of the planes, and we practice. Getting out the door and stepping on the step, and like the going through the motions of getting out the plane before you fall away. Oh, hey, yeah, nice to meet you. Or nice to meet you again. That's pretty cool. I think I went down with my sister to try out for the Biggest Loser game show. I think they were doing a sibling one or something, maybe. Anyway, so my sister and I went down to try out. We didn't get on the show. But anyway, so I'm in this class, taking the class all day. And I'm doing a tether jump, which means there's a long cord hooked from the chute to the plane. I don't know, 20 feet long or something. Anyway, long enough that when you fall away from the plane, you get a good distance before the chute opens up. So I get in the plane. Plane's really small. There's no like seats in the plane. It's like kind of sitting in the back of a pickup truck, just this flat area. And we're going up, flying through the air, and the pilot goes, all right, get ready. And the other guy's in the plane hooks up my tether to the thing, and I scoot over to the door, which is like a little smaller than a car door, but not super small, but not big either, to get in and out of the plane. And that door just feels really small now, because I don't know how high we're up, 10,000 feet, 5,000 feet, I don't remember. But the idea is you get out this door, and there's this little plate about the size of a license plate, a little step, and you're supposed to climb out the plane when it's going, 70 miles an hour or however fast this little plane is going. To climb out this door, step on a step the size of a license plate, and then hang on to a bar so you can get away from the body of the plane, and then you release and fall away, and then the tether pulls you. So I used to be able to do a pull-up back in high school. I could do some pull-ups. I was a much fitter, leaner Andrew back in high school, and I could do a few pull-ups. As an adult, no way. I could not do a pull-up to save my life. But I found the strength when you're 10,000 feet up in the air going 70 miles an hour to hang on to a bar for an extended period of time. So I step out, I hang on to this bar, and the pilot is off to my left, and he looks at me and he goes, "Go!" And I'm hanging onto this bar, 10,000 feet up in the air, going 70 miles an hour, and I'm looking at him, and I've got a death grip on it, and I am not letting go. And he looks back at me and he goes, "Go!" And I'm still hanging on this bar, and I'm looking at him, and I was like, I did not want to let go of this bar hanging onto this plane. And it took him a third time to turn to me, and he's like very forceful, "Go!" I let go and I fall away, and the chute pulls out, and it opens up, and it's all beautiful. Hey, Matthew. Welcome. Oh, so the chute opens up, and so I got this helmet on. I don't know what the helmet's going to do, because if I fall to the ground from 10,000 feet, my head's going to be a watermelon. So anyway, I got this helmet on. And in the helmet are supposed to be these speakers with a receiver, so that the dude on the ground can give me instructions. So he can like radio me and give me instructions, because I'm supposed to like pull on the cords and steer and kind of find my way around to the airstrip. It was pretty cool to do that. But anyway, this is all I heard. All I heard from the speakers was like nothing. I just heard static. I'm pulling on the strings and I'm going left and right and I'm kind of making this big swooping circle going around and around, and it's really cool, really fun. It's peaceful up there. It's quiet except for the static in my ears, and you know, everything looks like little tiny ants on the ground. And as you get closer and closer and closer and closer, you know, the earth is getting bigger and bigger as you're getting further and further down. And I don't know, I'm a couple hundred feet up from the ground at this point, and I finally hear the guy in the speakers on the headset, and you know, he's going, "You're looking good, doing great, blah blah blah," and you know, it's like, good, you know, I'm coming in. So I'm kind of making my final approach in towards the big white X in the field. I'm kind of coming over this fence line and these trees, shrubs along the fence, and the guy is like really giving me encouragement and stuff, and he goes, "Let it fly, you know, like, you're doing great." And what I heard was flare it. And what I learned in that class earlier in the day was flaring is when you pull really hard down on the cords, and what that does is it stalls you and prevents you from falling for a second. And what you're supposed to do is when you're coming in and you're about 5 feet from the ground, you're supposed to do that flare and pull it really hard. And what that does is it pauses you just for a second, and then you just set down. So, like, all right, I'm doing what the guy tells me, and about 50 feet up in the air, I pull really hard, which is about 45 feet too high, and I stall, and I fall out of the air. Through the trees, through the brush, and into a swampy wetlands thing, and out of sight. So all my work friends are freaking out. The operators of this, hey Oliver, the operators of this airfield are freaking out, and they're running across the field trying to get to me, because they think they think I'm dead or something, because I just fell out of the air. And so I'm laying in mud, and I'm going, oh, I can wiggle my fingers, I can wiggle my toes. All right, I don't think I have a broken back or anything, and I'm actually all right. You know, I'm feeling all right, and then I'm thinking, oh no, is this like shock, or am I have a at a company summer picnic? We held it at Matt, I'm talking about you. Oh no, buffering table. Oh no, everyone tried to do a reload this page thing, and see if that helps. Try to do that reload the page deal. Tell me if that works. Refresh. So the little circle thingy over and over. Yeah. Are you back? Are you back now? All right. Oh no, I left you in the swamp. Okay, I'll have to rewind a little bit here. Uh, so I did the flare. Did you guys hear that part where I did the flare and I dropped dropped out of the air? Okay. So I did the flare it, and I dropped out of the air, and I landed in the swamp, and everyone came running, thinking I was a goner, but I wasn't. No broken bones. Yeah. Wiggling my toes. Yep. All right, and then I mentioned that Matthew, and Oliver are both co-workers of mine. We work together, and Brandon is a former co-worker of ours who is also in property management, but he moved on to another company, another large company that has a campus doing very similar work. Oliver is our journeyman plumber, Brandon. So Oliver replaced our previous journeyman plumber who went to work with Brandon at this other company. So Kevin, I said your name earlier. Oh, I'm dying up in here. Oh. Okay. So, and then I talked about Oliver has a boat, and he's invited me to go wakeboarding. And, oh, are you Dave the Dude? Okay. So Oliver invited me to go wakeboarding, and I'm thinking maybe I should do it in the summertime. And I'll bring my GoPro, and we'll film some video of the bearded giant getting pulled behind a boat. And then that got me thinking about Matt. Matt and I actually have a boating experience. Matt is also a large person. He is shorter than I am, but we have a similar build, this way. So we consume a lot of space when we walk together down a hallway. So anyway, Matt has a canoe, and he has a family with some kids, and what's going on, Jen? I'm sorry, I'm missing your post. I'm just trying to say politely, Matt, that yes, we are fat. We are very large men. Breaded. On the breaded, I could be the breaded giant, I suppose. So at a company picnic a few years ago, Matt brought his canoe to the company picnic because we were having it at a lake. And so Matt and I got in the canoe, and one of his daughters, I don't remember if it was his older or younger daughter, but anyway, got in the canoe with us. So Matt was in the back, I was in the front, and we are low in the water. And we hadn't left the shore yet. We were still pretty close to shore. And Becca, she decided she didn't want to go out in the lake with us. So she was going to get out of the canoe, which got the canoe a wobbling and a rocking, and whoop, we all went over into the went over in the water. But anyway, so we got back in the canoe, and I when I was younger, used to do dragon boat racing, which is like 20 people in a canoe-like apparatus, and you paddle. And we raced. We raced here in Portland, and we raced up in Canada. I did that for a few years. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, and so Matt and I, because he's obviously familiar with his canoe, and I had some experience dragon boating. When we got out in the lake, we were digging in, and we really got that canoe cooking along pretty quick, which I thought was pretty fun, pretty impressive for sitting so low in the water as we were. I see there's some joking going on about the breaded giant. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good. Matt and I have a pretty good time together at work. He also is a lighthearted, easy to smile, easy to laugh gentleman, and we get some good laughs going. I really enjoy working with Matt, and Oliver too. Oliver too is a gentleman who's quick to smile and quick to laugh, and it's always a pleasure to see those two. It's fun. I enjoy who I work with. I got some good people I work with. We actually work at a pretty good facility. Well, we work at an Intel campus, as a lot of you know. But we have a good team, and Matt, Oliver, and I are all leads of our own department. So we're in like a leadership role for what we do. Matt is our lead electrician, Oliver is our lead plumber, and I am the lead fire protection guy. And we're part of a group, the facilities group, which is a more skilled trades part of our facility, and then we have some other folks who do other maintenance activities. Anyway, that'll get boring after a while. But anyway, Matt and Oliver are two good guys. Brandon's a good guy too, but he's no longer at our company. He moved on. Yeah, he moved on, although he's literally just down the road. His campus that he works at, or the facility he works at, is pretty decentralized. I mean, they have a main campus, but they have a lot of off-site buildings that Brandon is responsible for, and I think a couple of his buildings are very close to where we work. So, hey, Brandon, why don't you come by and have lunch with me sometime? I can get you in. Just saying. Or we could meet at RH1, which is the Roadhouse, which is a bar, brewery, really good food. Oh, look at that. We are about 50 minutes in, and I've been winging it, not having a plan, and it's been going all right, except for the whole freezing up the frame thing. Yeah. Yeah. You know, we get busy at work. Let's see. What other stories can I tell you? What, you got some questions for me, guys? I guess I should let Matt and Oliver know I'm not going to be at work tomorrow. I'm getting on a plane here in a few minutes and I'm flying away. Beaverton. Yeah, Beaverton's very close. Beaverton's maybe 15 minutes away. You know what? Let us do some shout outs. Kevin, sorry, Dave the Dude. Shout out your channel. Sam, shout out your channel. Ian, shout out your channel. Dave, shout out your channel. Matt, Brandon, Oliver, I don't think you have channels, but if you want, you can shout them out. So, Sam at Green Acre Workshop, he has two channels. One's a homesteading channel, and which is Green Acre Homestead, and Green Acre Workshop is his woodworking channel. And Kevin over at Making Sawdust, his channel is woodworking as well. He also has a homestead channel called Hope This Works Homestead. And Ian, he's just started on his at RIG Outdoors. He just started on his YouTube journey, and he has a handful of videos under his belt, and he's getting going. And he does review of outdoor equipment. And then Dave over at McCoy Oak Hill Farm, he Dave, you're McCoy Oak Hill, right? Am I getting you confused with someone else? Or are you Oak Knob? No, Oak Knob Farm is Dave, sorry. Dave at Oak Knob Farm is, he does a homestead channel as well. And he has some interesting, he has some, he has some, he has some interesting rockhound videos, and he has sent me some stones, and one of these days I'll do a video on that. And Leanna, you're McCoy's Oak Hill Farm, correct? And that's some homesteading as well. And Amanda at Bois, she and Dave have a homestead up in Canada, and they just got done with, no, they had not done, they're still in the middle of a 28-day run of being off the grid. They cut the power to their home, and they are off the grid for 28 days, and with, like, I'm not joking, 4-8 feet of snow, and they're dealing with it. You know, it's pretty freaking cool. I am truly date challenged. Oh, can I close with the loop echo? Well, let me see what I can. Let me see what I can do. We're getting awfully close. Let's see if I turn that on and turn that on. So I started out the beginning of the live stream with this loop going, and I found it silly, and I started laughing, and it goes over and over. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die from laughing. Oh, all right. Oh my gosh. Oh no, that's good. How do I mute this? Oh, I'll mute that and mute that. Okay. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you, and thank you for wishing me a good trip. I will bring back some information and share with all my content creator friends on what I learned at this YouTube conference. And for those of you who missed it, when I'm signing off from this live stream, I'm going in the house and picking up my suitcase and my my backpack, getting in the car and driving to the airport, and I'm flying to flying to Atlanta, Georgia, to attend a YouTube conference. Oh, Sean Mason! Oh my gosh, Sean, thanks for thanks for joining us. Sean is another facilities lead. I think we have, except for Patrick, we have our entire facilities leadership team in this live stream. Oh my gosh. Woo! Thank you again. Thank you all for joining. And feel free to go out and watch any of my other videos. I appreciate all of you. Peace out and take care of yourselves. Good night, folks.